Do you think anyone actually does this? I guess anything encased in pastry is good, question mark. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Is this impressive? I don't know. Are you impressed by this? That's not big enough, is it? I'm so angry. Encasing a full turkey in puff pastry, I just don't understand it. But now I have one. Should we just start? So I'm doing something ridiculous today, and I know that it's ridiculous, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I cannot help myself. I'm unwrapping some puff pastry, and I have a full cooked turkey on my bench. Any guesses on what I'm doing?
I think this is one of the most beautiful turkeys. It's encased in a puff pastry. I just love how it looks.
I've been influenced by the original influencer. I watched the Martha Stewart documentary a couple weeks ago, and within 2 minutes, I knew I had to try it. This 1986 ridiculous turkey, I cannot get it out of my head. Just seems entirely impractical to me, and I knew immediately that I had to make it. It's ridiculous to me for many reasons. It's way overly complicated. Who would wrap a full turkey, bones and all, in puff pastry? Does it overly cook the turkey? Like, what are we doing with the turkey at this point? Back in the fridge for a bit. I understand the idea of a wellington, which is some sort of a meat wrapped in puff pastry, usually rolled with some sort of a filling. But an entire turkey, how do you carve that? How do you cook it without your turkey being completely overbaked? How do you get the timing right? Who is cooking a turkey on the big celebration day, cooling it down for a couple hours, and then putting it back in? Not to mention the fiddliness of working with puff pastry. Just seems entirely impractical to me, and I knew immediately that I had to make it. So this was in Martha's TV show, and I was able to find a recording of that, but no recipe. In that recording, she makes some really crazy things. She makes Thanksgiving for 23 people. She roasts pheasants. She makes, I think, a total of like 4 turkeys. She starts 22 days in advance and makes something called cranberry cassis, which is like a cranberry cordial that sits in her fridge for 22 days. She's harvesting Brussels sprouts and broccoli. She's doing all sorts of wild things. And frankly, it's way more than any one person could do. This actually may be way more than this person can do. So yesterday I roasted a turkey, really simple roasted turkey. There's a zillion recipes out right now on how to roast a turkey. Follow one of those. And then I put it in the fridge to cool. And now I'm just trying to get a piece of puff pastry that's big enough to cover that giant turkey. I might have to do it in pieces. This is all butter puff pastry, and then I have a couple more sheets of like the Pepperidge Farm pastry in my fridge that you saw me rolling out. I'm not sure that I've got something big enough here, but we're gonna give it a go. Move the turkey front and center. The only thing Martha tells us in her video is the turkey needs to cool for a couple hours, put it on parchment. I don't normally trust the turkey, but I trust it so that there would be an easier way for us to kind of encase. And I'm gonna leave the strings on. I don't know how I'm gonna carve this baby anyway once it's encased in puff pastry, so we're just gonna go for it. Puff pastry is out. I'm feeling very stressed. I have some ice water on the bench. That's what's gonna seam these two together. Should we just start? So I think I'm gonna do this one on the back side, the wider side of the turkey. Ooh, I might actually have enough with this. No, I don't. Okay, and now all she does is kind of just gently tries to get the shape of the turkey. These wings might be the death of me. Tries to get the shape of the turkey with the puff pastry. What do we do about this part where the turkey isn't sitting flat against the cookie sheet? I guess we just leave it. So we almost got it, actually. There's a little bit left over here. So all she does in the video is just kind of gently coaxes it down. I'm gonna use part of this sheet then to cover this front bit and try to kind of tuck underneath even more because I'm lacking some tucking under here. So maybe there, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of ice water. She says ice water is the perfect glue. So then that way. 2 different types of puff pastry, so that should be interesting. And then she just kind of gently, see if I can get it to stick. She kind of just gently molds it to the turkey so that you can see the shape of the turkey. Okay, my puff pastry is getting really warm. But I'm not mad at this so far. What do you guys think? No holes, really. Oh, this is so ridiculous. I think this might be as good as it gets for now. See how wonky my turkey is? It's gone a little lean. That feels appropriate. Okay, this is gonna go back in the fridge. I'm gonna actually put our puff pastry back in the fridge, clear the decks, do a little meditation. I'll be right back to you. Turkey is still in the fridge, and I'm gonna get started on the little shapes that she adds. The ones that are notable to me are some long fluted strips. So I'm just gonna do a couple of those that go kind of all the way over the top of the turkey. And I think I'll need more length than I have here. But I'm just gonna cut out a few things and then kind of wing it when we get the turkey back out. Nice, nice. Now we're gonna go in with some of the cutter shapes. I've got these big leaf cutters, but nothing small like she used, so we'll see how that goes. I'm trying to work really quickly because keeping puff pastry cold helps it to puff. So the warmer it gets, the less it's gonna puff. She actually, with these guys, she takes the back of a knife and she makes a leaf pattern in it. See how we do there. So this is absolutely not my type of cooking. I am not a fussy cook at all, but it was too fun not to try to make this. And I appreciate the sentiment of putting this much effort into presentation of something. Okay, back into the fridge, and the only thing that's left is to put these on the turkey. I'm gonna let everything chill for about 15, 20 more minutes. Okay, here we are. So I'm just gonna start to decorate. The first thing I'm gonna think about is covering this seam. And so I've got a nice thick boy right there that might work for that. So all Martha did was basically, she said flip them over, but I don't have a good side or a bad side. She took ice water, ran it on the piece she was gonna attach, and then it looked just super, super easy to attach to the turkey. So again, I'm trying to cover my seam here. And then she just kind of tucked everything underneath. That actually worked perfectly. Okay, so now the next thing she did was took a couple of the longest strips and did like cross to cross. But a lot of her decoration wasn't shown. She showed a couple pieces of it, but then I think they had a swap. So sadly, no swaps in my world. So my oven, which I didn't mention, is preheated to 400 degrees. That's just what the packages said for the puff pastry. So I think the turkey's cooked. So I think we're just trying to get the puff pastry golden brown and cooked through. Tuck it under, tuck it under. Now we brush. 3 egg yolks and a little bit of cream. Whew. I can't imagine doing this on a holiday right before dinner is served. It feels way too stressful. Okay, into the fridge. It's ready for the oven. So Martha does not give me a hint as to the temperature. She says 35 minutes, which tells me that it's probably cooler than 400 degrees. So I've bumped my oven down to 375. I'm not sure that this is gonna take 35 minutes, but we'll see. I'm just looking for the puff pastry to be golden brown because the turkey is done inside. But it would be nice if the turkey heated up a little bit, I guess. I don't even know. Into the oven it goes. You guys, this is ridiculous. We did it. My puff pastry didn't really puff, but we did it. I don't know. I thought this was gonna be ridiculous. It was ridiculous. It looks kind of cool. It smells delicious. I guess anything encased in pastry is good, question mark. Is this impressive? I don't know, maybe if you're puff pastry puffs. Are you impressed by this? You certainly are not gonna be impressed by me carving it. Like, where do you even start? I mean, normally I would start breast side. Should we just do that? In the video, Martha takes just like chaos slice and just slices right off the top. Like not the breast, not anything else, just this piece right here. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I feel like I'm gonna hit a breastbone, but she didn't, so. I mean, I don't know. That doesn't look very good. Now do we carve down the breast? I just don't know. All of this feels very weird to me. So I'm just carving how I would a normal turkey, but with fewer landmarks because I can't see anything because the puff pastry. It's all so confusing. Oh, okay. I guess we'll take a piece of this and see what it tastes like. I don't know how to plate this and make it attractive. All right, let's see if the pastry got cooked. I just don't know. What's the point of this? I'm so angry. So I knew I would be frustrated with this because it just feels like, what's the point? But now that I'm carving it and my carving plate looks super messy and it just is like random pastry everywhere. Do you just take all of the pastry? I don't know. I have so many questions about this turkey Wellington. Do you think anyone actually does this? I understand a turkey Wellington where you don't have all of the bones to contend with, but encasing a full turkey in puff pastry, I just don't understand it. But now I have one. So let me know in the comments below if this is something that you would give a go. I'm not convinced that I'll ever do it again, but it was nice to say I've done it once and I have the photos to prove it. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. See you soon. Cheers.